Charter Street has a variety of student buildings ranging from social sciences to mathematics to foreign languages and the physics buildings. This makes it an epicenter of classes for undergraduate students, all of which are attempting to get to class before the bell rings. The major influx of students during passing period makes it nearly impossible for cars to pass. During peak passing period hours, this is what someone might see. A congested bundle of students attempting to cross ways both north and south and east and west. Fortunately, buses and cars and UW service vehicles all get stuck behind it. This is the first of the two intersections that we are trying to mitigate traffic problems from. This particular intersection is the intersection of Charter and Linden. The second problem area is the intersection of Charter and Observatory. Here we see vehicles traveling northbound are actually required to stop, even though they do not have a stop sign, for the pedestrians that are attempting to cross and get to class. The level of driver uncertainty on whether or not they have the right of way, as well as the pedestrian crossing lanes, are what we're going to try to fix. For the most part, traffic is very bland. Students walk freely, traffic moves smoothly, and there's really no reason for transportation engineers to get involved. Specifically see here at Observatory and Charter that the problem is not necessarily the traffic, but it's moving the traffic safely and efficiently, as well as moving the pedestrians safely. Therefore, in the later part of this video, we will present a way in order to mitigate those issues. But as soon as rush hour hits, that all goes out the window. Students are crossing, cars are backing up, and it's a whole different ballgame. So as transportation engineers, we had to come up with a solution. We started by taking data. The data taken was data that came from the videos provided on the Moodle webpage. Calculated that it took nearly 2 minutes and 15 seconds for a single car to pass through the intersection of Charter and Linden Street with a maximum time of close to 3 minutes. So, after conducting our own experiment, we were able to find that it took much less time for us to purely just travel around the long way, therefore giving us a reason to think that even if Charter Street was not available to traffic, we would be able to find an alternative and that would not affect the overall travel time. With that simple raw data that we calculated, we now have an idea of what we want to do to mitigate the problems that are located at both the Linden Street intersection as well as the Observatory Street intersection. Therefore, we decided to think big. We decided that we wanted to scrap the idea altogether, make Charter into more of a State Street-esque type area, giving Linden the option of either being a roundabout or being a cul-de-sac. This aerial coverage will more further describe what we're trying to accomplish. We have decided that from the peak passing period hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Linden Street will solely act as a cul-de-sac, allowing only buses and car travel to go around and back down Linden. With the cul-de-sac's high curbs as well as the traffic density, pedestrians will be encouraged to walk around the cul-de-sac to get from class to class. Even more effective about this design is that because vehicles won't be able to travel on the north and southbound lanes of Charter, pedestrians can walk freely between those areas. We'd like to compare our design to the one that's used on State Street, where pedestrians can freely cross the street at any point they wish. As for the times when pedestrian volume is low, say the times from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m., we plan to reopen Charter Street and have it act as more of a roundabout in order to move traffic again freely and smoothly across Charter Street as well as Linden Street. We believe that it is very important to reopen Charter Street during low volume hours. We believe that Charter Street is a very important mode of transportation for people to get from point A to point B on the university. Therefore, removing Charter completely would be a poor ethical and experimental decision as a transportation engineer. During the evening hours, Observatory and Charter will operate as it once did. Yet during the time when Charter is closed, Observatory will have a pedestrian crosswalk light installed. This will allow for a short amount of time for vehicles to be stopped, but will allow for a massive amount of students to pass during these peak hours of pedestrian volume. And we know that this idea has proven to work very well, as it has been implemented at the Johnson and University crosswalks where East Campus Mall is located.